Hello.
Hello, hello. We're here again.
Hello.
Here again.
How are you?
Хорошо. I'm very good. How are you? Oh my goodness.
Nah, I'm well. I am blurry around the edges. Um Still kind of like in that puppy dog waking up stage where you're just kind of like a little floppy.
I get it. I get it.
What about you? You've had a
Yeah, I've
full
been
morning
racing
already.
around. I did Toastmasters. I was like the Toastmaster winner today. I got a piece of like a toast. You get that when you get like a Toastmaster award. But the thing is that I really feel like Karen deserved it. She was amazing. Her speech was amazing at my Toastmasters this morning, and I was just an ornament on a tree. Like got called out during like this kind of improv round, and I was an ornament. And I looked around. Apparently, I was an impressive ornament that said a few words. Anyways, long story. We're not going to go
Is
there.
this is this an inside joke?
No, no, it was
Like literally ornament of a
like
tree? What is
like
this
like
metaphor?
no, it was like this improv round that happens, and it said like, okay, we're gonna pick one person from the audience. They're gonna pretend they're an ornament on a tree that saw something that they shouldn't have seen, or something like this. And I had to then improv that. So yeah, you could see where that could go. It was a test. I don't think I did very well, but I got a piece of toast. So hey, I did it. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm really happy to be here with you.
Me
And
too.
we're here again with you all and slowly finding our place in our own podcast,
Mm,
which I'd like to just talk on right now. It's like doing something that has no clear plan or definition can be very scary. And I feel like it's such the right moment for me in life to be doing this with you because it
nice.
it is so safe and so scary at the same time. Like putting ourselves out there on our channels to the people that know us for one thing or for another, and showing up a little bit differently perhaps, but of course the same. We can only get so
Yeah.
far from who we are.
Well,
Yeah, so
exactly. It's us just in a encapsulated thing, but also we haven't defined the thing. So is that the thing that's scary
I
for
think
you?
that's the thing that's scary for me. I've been really finding a lot of joy in getting, I guess, more rhythm and more order in the things that I do. And
Hmm.
this is going, pulling back on that a little bit and going, okay, a little bit more freedom here, which I've also noticed and enjoyed. There's another meeting that I attend online that is very open ended, and that has been really challenging for me. However, some of the beautiful conversations that have come out of this open ended, like not completely open ended, but ever expanding container, um, have been really cool to watch. And I've enjoyed, yeah, sticking with it through the uncomfortable bits. So just for that, it's important to try new things for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also feel like in regards to um a vulnerable but public facing service, which I think a podcast is definitely a service if it's creating an opportunity for someone to feel like they've got some company or their nervous system is a little bit relaxed because they've just got something else to think about or some kind of other energy to vibe off of. There's always going to be fear. I assume there's always going to be fear because you are presenting yourself, you are putting yourself on the line. I've always felt this way. This is my third podcast, and I've never not felt the. It's died down quite a bit, but I've never not felt the kind of stage fright that comes with putting yourself out there, regardless of us having a theme or not, or having prepped or not. And it's a relief that we're not prepping because honestly,
This
my whole life is
this would not
prepping
this
for
would not
something.
happen. This would not, we would not be here right now if we had to do an over a huge amount of prepping. But oh yeah,
Exactly.
also yeah, I encourage the listeners to think of the moments in their life where they have that hesitation and that little bit of fear And just know that Rudo, who's done 3 podcasts, still stands up to create and still has the fear. And yet, totally not a bad thing, just a thing to just be aware of and be present with, sit with it. It's all good. Yeah, like I'm totally jazzed to be here. Totally. I've got my fingers on the deeper question cards right here. They're over here in the corner. You can't see them because of the light. Deeper Questions by Kieran Patel. He made these books of cards. We've talked about them last week on the show. We're going to pick a card and answer it, but my fingers have been just touching that card, the top card, waiting to see what this card is going to ask us. So,
Cool.
so when we're ready, are we ready? We're going to
Yeah.
dive into a question. So, on this podcast, if this is the first episode you've heard, we're going to trial something here. We're going to ask some questions from the Deeper Questions deck, and that will form this show live, on air, recorded for your ears, wherever you are, which I'm just so curious where you are right now. So please do let us know. I wouldn't mind being on a walk right now by the seaside on our coastal walkway here in Taranaki and listening to us. So maybe I will
Ooh.
go back and do that.
Oh, yeah.
Rudo, can you tell me about a recent time where you've asked for help and you were really glad that you did?
Dang, this card cuts to the quick. Potentially one of my least favorite activities is asking for help. So,
I have to answer this question too after, so I've got prep time.
I don't do it very often. So part of the juggle of today was figuring out how to get on the road as quickly as possible because it's kind of like a holiday weekend. And I asked for my girlfriends to give me a sanity check and to just hear out my anxiety around driving. My air condition, or I should say, my partner's car's air conditioning isn't working. So I'm going to drive without AC and it's in the middle of the summer. So like the timing of when to drive would impact like if I'm going to be in gridlock with no AC. So I was like high anxiety. It's not that big. I mean, first world problems pretty much, but like I was still, even just kind of getting out of the door when I feel a lot of intense energy is hard for me. So I just went, you know what? Like not being a drama queen here, but here's where my anxiety is at, ladies. And I didn't say like problem solve for me. I also didn't say I'm not coming because of that. I just said, let me just tell you where my thinking is at. And I got the absolute sweetest responses to that. You know, just a whole spectrum of pragmatism, empathy, a sort of like just take a beat, all of the different arrays of like you can do it kind of responses. And I just really appreciated the personalities that I have in my life, but b like the no like snappy defensiveness or offensiveness. There was just like a, yeah, I hear you, girl. Like, here's your options. Here's some things you can think about. Can't wait to see you. You can do this. And just kind of normalizing the situation. Like, you've been through long weekends before. You can do it. And if you need to drive at night when it's cooler, then that's what you can do. And all of the different ways in which they just gently encouraged me, but also didn't pressure me and validated my emotions felt like really, really awesome friendship behavior. And so I felt better. I felt like I had offloaded some stuff without feeling like I had kind of emotion dumped on them. But it was received so well that it felt like I knew cognizantly that I was asking for help to make the crazy voices in my head not so loud, just to let them out. But what I got was like immensely more grounding than what I had assumed at first. But I think that's like probably the closest, most freshest version of me asking for help that I can think of.
That's pretty fresh.
And that was just like 12 hours
That's
ago.
fresh.
So I did it. I hate asking for help, but I did it.
It's a tricky one, asking for help, and I don't understand why I'm also challenged with it. But I have become aware of that.
Is it because we're both like givers and we want to like be needed more than needing others?
Or I think that's a part of it, and also just not being a burden to anyone, like trying to make everybody's trying to make lives easier, not harder. So why am I going to give other
Yeah.
people more things to do? However, this year, like 24 for me, was this really a recognizing this lack of Keith asking for help situation.
That's awesome.
And I recognized it before I tell you my recent ask for help. I recognized it in men's group because I go to a regular men's group every fortnight. Some
That's
fellas
cool.
sit around in a circle and we share in a very organized fashion, but we're able to go and take care of some work and get things done and support each other in a really loving and vulnerable and beautiful way. It's amazing. I
Listen
feel
up.
really
Oh,
privileged, super privileged to sit in circle with these fellas. And like I always say, men's work is human work because sometimes you just have to do some particular type of work because of the way society has conditioned some people, that you need to do some digging, and it's just a container, a safe space to work. Anyways, I saw some great examples of men asking for help throughout the year, and I was over and over impressed that in the WhatsApp chat there was requests for phone calls or help or meetings. I'm having a tough time, and I was blown away, thinking this is so cool. And of course, men stepping up, and then for people outside of our group saying, "Hey, there's a person in our community. They're having a tough time. Does anybody have space? I'm overwhelmed right now." So not only is another man saying they're overwhelmed, they can't take it on right now, but looking for other help for other men. So that's been yeah, so
shit.
inspiring to me. It
Yeah.
makes me wonder why, when I am having a tough time, let's say I'm having some dark clouds coming over, I'm feeling a bit grumpy, um, doing some old patterns perhaps, and I think to myself, "Oh, I'll just go to sleep. I'll just deal with this, and it'll be fine." Instead of reaching out for help. Now, I didn't know what kind of help I needed until a couple months ago, when a man was talking about when he had asked for help and received it and how great it was for him. And all the help that he asked for was, he called another man and he said, "I need you to listen to me for 20 minutes. Can you do that?" And the guy listened for 20 minutes, and that was the help. And he just
Mm.
dished what he was going through in a very succinct way of all the emotions he was having. And I thought, wow, like I think I could do that. And I think that could really help me and really connect me with my other brothers, just showing up as a human, for them, with them. And so I'm just looking forward, ironically, to the next time I'm in a state that is perhaps an old pattern, or and I know how I get into them as well. So that's the funny part. I'm aware of the whole cycle now. And so awareness has brought me to the point where I know how I can start a cycle of feeling down pretty well. I'm pretty in control of that.
Same.
It's quite magnificent. And so yeah, I'm really happy to stop the cycles and not have them. But if I do happen to make some choices that get me into a little place where I'm feeling a bit down, I'm going to ask for a phone conversation now. My
Nice.
recent request for help was, I am in a group that supports the work of Stephanie Harrison called New Happy, her book. and I help. It's an online community of people that support the work, and I have decided to do a play of the work that I'm going to
Ooh.
perform here in New Zealand. And I'm going to perform, the first performance is going to be at the end of April in 2025. It will be called My New Happy, uh, a
Oh my
live
goodness.
theatrical presentation. However,
Is this
this
a
is a
one-man
one
show?
human,
Are
this
you
is a one
casting?
human show. However, I, it has now become more than a one human show because our youngest, has requested strongly to be a part of the show and have lines. So M will be joining me in the show. And so I
Oh,
guess I'm opening it up.
I
I
love
guess it's
it.
going to be a bigger show than just me. It's a chance for, yeah,
Wow, this is the first I've heard of this. I'm very
dropping yeah.
excited.
So I asked for from my group when they were talking about the good things that happened in 24 and the things we're looking forward to, and what and part of those four questions that we had to answer in that little round that we did in a group just a few days ago. What we did, what we a gratitude for 24, what we're doing, you know, you get it. And then what can the help? How can the group help? And it's for me about accountability, and also about reining in my wild mind in terms of how far I could take this play, because I can keep it going. I could make it. Yeah, I could blow it out of proportion for sure. And
Yeah, you are incredible about thinking about how the next expansion of the thing
it,
will make it more
yeah,
expanded.
so I'm really aiming to do a rough. I don't even want to say MVP again because I say it all the time, but minimum viable product of a play, but full of me and full of, oh gosh, I'm so excited to share some stories of my journey in a play format.
Man, that sounds so
I
cool.
really love the stage. I absolutely adore the many times painted over black stage, gaffer's tape, old, draped curtains,
Got a
the
smell
smell. I was
too,
going to
eh?
mention that. Thank you. And I adore it. And
Yeah.
I did spoken word and I did plays in university. I toured around with a group, and I left
Mm-hmm.
that theater group with the intention that I would become a speaker and I would share my own stories, my true stories, with audiences, and take them on emotional journeys with the truth, with stories that were real to me.
Mm.
And I've done some speaking and I can plan to do more, but I've always wanted to get on stage and continue the performance, but in a, a story of my life context, or stories or learnings, because I'm here to share what I've learned. And I feel like it's one of the most important things for me to do, is to experience things, share them, and continue, repeat. So yeah, very excited. And I have asked for help with that. And I'm feeling really free right now. So although I don't feel like I need a huge amount of help with it because I'm feeling so on fire, that that I can do it. But you can't do things isolated. I can't do things isolated anymore. I'm joining communities. I'm doing this with you, right? Which feels so amazing. I've in part of this new happy community, which is a bunch of people that are vibing together with the same vibe. Like they want
Mm-hmm.
joy in the world. They understand that the world isn't always joyful. That pain is a part of the human experience, but that joy is a choice and we can bring it in. And
Mm.
so, yeah, to be a part of these communities and doing different things is wonderful. And also, yeah, just
Yeah.
feeling really good.
I like how you asked the listener to think about um, that question of asking for help, and also when you did something that was scary or undefined, And I think, again, to pause and to not question, but to send out gratitude to the community and the roles within that community that you play a part in and you also receive back, to just take a moment of really formalizing that awareness
Mm, very cool.
of the connections in your
Yeah,
community, the ones that you send out energy and you receive back energy.
100%. I've been through such an interesting time this year of community and
Mm.
of deciding to do with others because I feel that that is the ultimate way, and it's been written that nothing gets done by yourself or nothing gets done in isolation, and all the great things
Well,
that
and even just that you live longer, you live a better and richer and more vibrant life in relation to others.
absolutely. And I've definitely played a role where I've tried to, yes, I've been with my family, yes, I've had friends, yes, I've been at work, but to create and build on things with
Yeah.
shared humanity, and that's something I needed to work on, and I feel like I'm doing it,
Mm.
and yeah, it feels really, really, really good. And I just wanted to let everybody know that's listening. It does feel really, really good. It can, for some, feel a little bit scary because of being burned, because of our own communication styles. We all have our own communication styles. And listening to some other people in the group that I attend, being fearful of their own communication styles and saying, basically, is it okay to be me? I'm afraid to be me because I can come off a bit sharp sometimes or whatnot. And then to hear the overwhelming understanding, acceptance, and appreciation for vulnerability pour out of the crew. And then you go, okay, that all makes sense now. We're okay. You're okay exactly how you are. Yeah, it's not okay to be like mean or rude or unkind to people. That's not acceptable. But to be yourself and to, you know, get excited or to get very serious or just to be the genuine qualities that are you, totally cool. Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
own it, be kind. I think we all have a responsibility to be in community with people and in a way that respects everyone. But yeah.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I hear you on uh being burnt and that kind of influencing how far you'll lean in to the next relationships group of relationships, because communities kind of rise and fall, um and I think in a lot of the kind of romanticization of life, the kind of hallmark version of of relationship longevity, you miss the pearl of short-term relationships. There's a sense of, well, that relationship has ended and I failed because it's ended. We have this whole sense of like the power of a relationship is how long you have it, whether that's intimate relationships, or even just friendships, and the ending of friendships. The older you get, the more you come to face the ending of relationships, and how I internalize that is up to me. And I think 2024 and the years just before it, 23, 24, for me were very much around a reckoning of not internalizing natural endings. And so I really appreciate what you were saying about, holding a little bit of gentle joy, maybe joy with a little j, around the beginning and endings of communities, and not letting the burn. It's like a sunburn. Well, that was because you were in the sun, because you were someone's son, or you were being gifted by someone else's sunlight. But the sunburn is a kind of provisional aspect of that. So, to carry the metaphor onwards, you don't go into a cave. You subsist, you are fed by the sun. Sometimes you are burnt. But I'm going to bring the analogy even further. If you are a tree, then all you need is a collection of trees to provide the shade to keep you from
There you
being
go.
burnt. Oh shit!
And make
Okay.
sure you take care of yourself. Like if you're going into, joining a community or a group of people that are like-minded or have a common interest, like make some decisions for yourself, perhaps if you haven't gone into that and you're feeling a little bit insecure ahead of time. Like, how much time will I spend? How will I, if I feel uncomfortable, how will I work with that? Will I take some
Mm,
time out? Will I be a little bit
mm,
vulnerable at the beginning and let everybody know how I stand? Like, I'll be
yeah.
attending this group. I'll come to one meeting, not four, and I'll only be able to stay 45 minutes into the meeting, and then I'll have to excuse myself.
Nice.
Like, up front, build that in for yourself. I feel like I could probably do a bit more of that, so that sometimes that thing that I feel like it's not necessary, but it's necessary for me. And I'll
Nice.
give you an example. Like, it's not necessary that I tell my boss at my day job that I'm going out and doing a podcast, doing other things. It, but it's necessary for me because I show up, and I show up on social media, and some people might get confused on where my focus lies. Now,
Yeah.
I am focused on a few things, but I have a capacity for that. And not everybody has
Yes.
capacity to work a full time
Yes.
job, to be a
Yeah.
husband and a father, to be a creative without getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
very conscious of not getting burned out. And so, although I show up in a lot of places, these places are my hobbies, these are my joy. And I'll
Hmm.
do everything I can to do them in a way that honors my health. And,
Mm.
I go to bed relatively early. I read at night. I wake up and do yoga. Like, the reading at night is topics that are interest
You're
me.
such a good
I'm a
boy.
wholesome boy.
Doing
Yeah,
yoga.
the yoga's so critical, eh? For me,
I
getting on the floor and
mean,
moving
in
around.
theory, I agree with you. In practice, it's been a while, but I love it.
And yeah, I mean, it's just moving the bones. I've had to get those practices going for
Oh my
myself.
god.
So,
I went to a thing once and this guy was doing bone
whoa,
yoga.
cool.
And it's literally you move as slowly as possible.
I'm doing it right now.
Like each asana took like 5,000 times longer to do because you're like concentrating on every single bone moving as slowly as possible. It was very fascinating practice.
That's very cool. It sounds like it would just drive me nuts. I would just be driven nuts. I'd probably have to get up and leave, like in a very respectful way, but take like a massive deep breath.
Okay,
Like, bye. See
bye.
you later. I'm gonna
Bye.
slowly move off the mat. I'm gonna grab another cone. There's another cone.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we?
Mhm.
Okay. Can you tell me about a memorable adventure or trip you've taken and what made it so special or transformative?
Dang, that's a
Dang,
good
I got my
question.
answer.
That's like my
I
whole
got my
life.
answer for that one. Shall I jump in there? Do you mind?
Yeah,
Okay,
do
do
it.
it. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question because I've been thinking about it lately. I've been wanting to tell a friend about my friend, her partner is unwell, and it's kind of one of those mysterious illnesses that lasts for
Oh
years, and
no.
the person's really unwell and difficulty getting out of bed or moving around,
Oh,
lots of
I'm sorry to
pain.
hear that.
So I've been wanting to tell this newer friend, so they don't know every story of my existence, which is usually what happens with friends. They have to listen to all my stories.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I took a trip last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year, like 23. Yeah,
What
23.
is
What is
time?
time? In November, I came up. Did I stay with you guys? Yeah, I stayed with you guys when I went to
Yes.
Mel Abbott's The Switch, which is her
Yes.
course. That was in 23 in November? I'm pretty sure. It wasn't
You
years
know?
ago. Okay, I think it was just a year ago, but it feels like it's a lifetime of knowing this
Sure.
thing. And I went on this little trip for myself, 4 days, get to spend time with Rudo and the Viking at their place while I attend this course in Auckland, New Zealand, from Mel Abbott, The Switch. And she takes 8 people through a journey of learning some tools and techniques to help basically switch off pain. And now I went to the switch not to switch off pain. However, I've been able to use it for that, but to be able to have more awareness and control over my mental state and
Mm,
be able to, yeah, basically just take control. And also dealing with things like anxiety at work or feeling overwhelmed when something gets dropped on
mm,
my plate or something like that, or something, or I'm doing something really simple, which I find,
totally.
I hear is some other part of the spectrum of like where it's something super simple, but sometimes the super simple things drive, like send me
Yes.
into overwhelm. However, you go into crisis mode and I'm all there. I'm like, yes, there's a
Mm-hmm.
crisis. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sure, let's do it. You over there, you over there,
Mm-hmm.
you here. Um, our brains work all different ways. Mine surely does. That was a memorable adventure because one, I learned some amazing tools, met some amazing people, saw
Mm,
some amazing results within days of people going
mm.
from chronic fatigue to off the couch going to the gym within days. People severe pain, like coming back, like like people that one woman, she did not jam. You could tell day one the way she was her tone, her questions. She's just like, this is bullshit, and she went home though and she did the work. She came back the next day, a completely different person, and that just
Oh
blew my
wow.
mind. So long
Ooh.
story short, what made it special or transformative? I think the work and the way Mel presented the work made it transformative and special. And what's really cool about it is thinking about it now over a year on, and I'm about to recommend it to this friend. Just, go online and do the online course if they can't fly to New Zealand. And thinking, wow, I went to something that lasted 4 days, but I've thought about it every single day since then. Every day I think about the work that I did there. Every single day.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, wait a second, Keith. Like, I was just a couple weeks ago talking about, hey, how do I remember all these cool things that I learned? Because I read lots of books and I learn all these little beautiful, little just juicy ideas and concepts. And here I am, like putting them into my virtual note cards now and flipping through my note cards instead of social media to relearn and keep the beautiful stuff that I pick up along the way. But with the Switch, which what I learned there, that experience, I don't no flashcards. It's with me every day, and so it pays to sometimes spend a bit more money than you would plan to, and go and do something for an extended period of time, which is super like not normal for me. 4 days away from my family is a huge deal. But yeah, life changing, transformative thing. There I go. I said it.
Mm.
Now all I have to do is take this little
Oh.
snippet of recording and send it to my friend, and I'm done. Job done.
Oh.
And I haven't actually made, like, what is it when you customers write like the customer
Review.
review? I haven't done my review for the Switch. I
Oh,
procrastinated.
here it
So
is.
mic drop. Here it is. Mel, you're an amazing teacher, and the stuff you share is incredible. So yeah, anybody looking or in pain or want to change their life and have more control of their life and the way they think, check her out. Unsponsored review.
Mm.
That's me, Rudo. What you got? What you got?
Bear this year, pretty sure. Uh, my little family, the Viking and the Wizard, and myself flew to Samoa,
Awesome.
and it was so amazing. Um, so I'll teach everyone the Samoan greeting, talofa lava, talofa,
Talofa.
hello. And I just love being able to at least greet people in the language of that nation. And then, um, I said a lot of fa'afatai because I was, given very good food, very good treatment, bought some very pretty dresses, and we visited a lot of amazing places that are run by families. So, after we were leaving, fa'afatai, thank you. So just um, the generousness of spirit that is there, the kind of Samoan way of being, it just permeates everything. There is a gentleness, a sweetness, uh, a patience, and a kind of, you feel very calm and settled. Um, or at least I did. I wouldn't project. And there's such a lovely combination of things to do and things to relax into there. It was that for me, it was the perfect balance of activity slash we can go really slow because there's not so much on the plate. Um, and the beauty of the wildlife and the environment and the way that humans have really the ingenuity and the industriousness of the way that the land is cared for there, like um there's like a kind of phrase for that in New Zealand. I'm not sure if it I can't remember how an American or any other nation would say it, but like being house proud, this sense of like really making sure that the thing that is kind of your home that is front facing to the world looks very tended to and beautiful and landscaped and creative and colorful. And I mean, you could see the attention to detail in every single rock that had been painted and every single, sculptural plant that had been curated to go along the edges of the roads. Everything had been um, presented in this riot of color and pride. And every village had their own kind of colors. And so when you're driving, even an hour drive just down one of the main roads, you see a rainbow of different village colors and patterns. And people are always out tending to their spaces. And it was just the simplicity of that was wonderful. The food was wonderful. The ocean was wonderful. The kind of access points were charming. And there was just so much there for me that was new. Being in the South Pacific doesn't mean that or have seen everything that is in the South Pacific. So it was just so nice to go to another Pacific Island nation, to see another culture, to see another way of life, um, smell and taste new things, and still feel like I was slightly at home and also a guest, and to be treated so well. God, I highly recommend visiting Samoa. It was and I just feel really happy that we were able to do it together and to form, new family memories, especially for I am.
Mm.
He's been to a lot of countries for a small boy, so it's really awesome that he got that one under his belt. I mean, I've been in New Zealand for 20 years ish, and that was um, my first island that I'd been to outside of New Zealand, Aotearoa.
It's incredible.
So, yeah,
Makes me
it
want to go.
was.
I'm keen.
Oh, oh, yeah,
I'm also keen to go home and like
yeah.
beautify the outside of my home, more than I've ever had that feeling. Um,
There is something to that when you've curated your environment, your nest in such a way that you know that it looks dang good. And there's a tidiness that I will never as like I'm not even going to attempt to aspire to the level of fastidiousness and tidiness that most of the Samoan people that I saw their environment was curated to the nth degree. I don't have that capacity. Um, so I could only be in awe of it.
but there's this element, yeah, I'm excited about, which I don't know why it's never sparked in me before. It's house proud, right? Did you say? I never heard that
Yeah.
word, like that term before, house proud. And
I've heard it quite a bit
have
in New
you? I
Zealand.
don't know why I haven't heard it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, it was turned off in my brain, so my subconscious didn't pick up on it, or my ears, my conscious didn't pick up on it. But yeah, it excites me to. The reason it excites me is it might help clean my garage up and tidy that up and get a bit get so I can be proud of it instead of the way it is now, which is okay. You can walk through it. That's important. But I do enjoy a really good garage, and I enjoy like yeah, like we have a beautiful home, and yeah, to make it just add just a few more key elements. I'm very practical when it comes to home. Like it's like a roof over my head, it walls, it functions, everything's working. Very, very practical. Appreciate that our garden is beautiful and does require more flowers. But yeah, like
I'll
yeah,
help you
thanks.
out with that.
I need to own that and get into the garden more, which I have been, which has been fun because I'm eating more big
Nice.
salads from the garden. And that just feels so good to get out there, take shoes off, take the socks off, get out into the garden and pick the salads and
I
eat the
thought of you
salads.
yesterday because we made a big old salad for dinner
Wowzers. Your garden is
from the garden.
bumping out there. You're going to have to take some lettuce with you. It's so crazy. Yeah.
I should do. I should bring my own lettuce.
Yep.
Eh? But I don't have AC,
I
and if I
know.
get
I know.
stuck in the car,
Yeah, just like, wait, if you're gonna like, you don't have to cut the whole head off of the lettuce, but yeah, if you did that, then you could put some water in there and you can keep it growing. But um, no, lettuce should be okay.
oh,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, if
true.
you want to take a whole thing
Okay.
out, you could just put it in some water, and then it's living and it's like thriving in the heat of the car. But you're gonna roll down the windows, right? Just yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, let the green hair wave, and you know, go for it. That too, but hey, you'll
You always think you're going to be Grace Kelly in the Cadillac.
not. Yeah,
You're more like Cruella
yeah,
Deville.
yeah. Picking the bugs from our teeth. No, yeah, you have a windshield in that car. Don't worry now. Cool. Thank you, Rudo.
Those were awesome
Yay,
questions.
that was fun.
Definitely preloading our mates before they hear that with those questions.
And yeah, for the listeners, please do. I'm going to put that little formy thing, a way you can communicate with us is share your answers, so that when we have a landing page of some sort or a place, we can put it put up your stuff as well. We want you to be a part of this. So yeah, please tell us about a memorable adventure and something that made it special or transformative, and also a recent time where you have asked for help. Can you please, you, the listener, help us learn how to ask for help? Rudo and I, we need your help. Oh my gosh, I just asked for help. Oh my God, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I feel good about that. It,
Help me with
help me with
help.
help. And also,
Help with the
like,
help.
I love these deeper questions, but you, the listener, may have a question that you would like to ask us in here on air, and we would love,
Yes.
by Rita's response, I know she agrees with me, to have you ask that question. So
Yes.
please ask us a question. We will go deep. You can put a rating of how deep we want us to go. Like, I want you to go really deep. Just ask the question. Totally cool. You don't have to put a rating. It's okay.
You're
So,
amazing. I'm
is
loving
this
this.
good? Really
Yes.
good. So
Yes.
please, we want the question from you, your question, your important, very important question that you might think is just for you, that you need to hear, and maybe you shouldn't ask it because it's just for you. I don't care. Rudo doesn't care. We care that you ask that question.
Really, there's almost no question that is too
Nah,
much.
no. Yeah,
Almost none. I haven't met many questions
yeah.
that I didn't like.
We are fully capable of handling whatever you could throw at us. And with
Word.
that, have an amazing day. What do you say? Oh, you want to
Yeah.
drop something else, Rudo? What do you got?
No,
That's it?
that was my dramatic.
And that's it.
Get thee to a drama school, Rudo. Timing.
That was a wrap. That's beautiful. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Mm.